to game number 2 of the Game for Nature Scrims as we find ourselves in Vikendi, and it is going to be 30 seconds until we start game 2, and we are watching again Team 2 Infinity, the winners of game number 1, who will hopefully try and maintain their winning streak for game number 2. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, the plane has taken off across Vikendi. And let's have a quick look with a flight path crossing Cement Factory, Podvosto, Mount Kresnik, Goroka Villa, and Dobromesto. A few hot drops of Vikendi there, with Cosmodrome just above the flight path and the winery just below. And there we see Team 20, Team 22, Team 2, and Team 13 all dropping early. With Teams 17, 21, and 14 dropping towards Villa. Let's have a look at Team 13, who appear to be going with Team 20 and 18 towards Cantra there. So as we jump over now to Team 20, with Team 21 just having one member of the team there. And here we see Shine Elish just dropping here at the Hot Springs with Team 18 Zen team in hot pursuit. And here we are still with Shine Elish just looting some of the buildings here with Team 18, the Zen team, quite close by, just coming close now. Doesn't appear as though Elish has noticed and is continuing to loot, but Elish might be given the heads up by another member of Team 20 with Vape Queen and Vape Nix also close by, with nothing more than it seems to be 30 to 40 meters difference. And there we see gunshots being fired, with Nerdlevac getting a knock on BTI on the left side there, and Zen with the height, and Squawks knocking Shine Elish there with one member of Team 20 down, with more shots being fired, and Nix getting a knock on Squawks there, and Wobbly and Queen dropping down. With Vape Queen coming up there with more shots being fired. So let's have a quick look as we look at Team 18, with Nick knocking both Queen and Wobbly with a UMP, with Squawks, the only remaining member of Team 18, managing to knock Vape Queen there, leaving Nix, the last remaining member of Team 20. And there we see Squawks getting the finish on Nix, giving 3 kills to Team 18, with Squawks and Queen on the revives, with Wobbly now revived and Venom close behind. So let's leave Team 18 to celebrate their kills there and move over to another team. with Team 3 in close proximity to team number 2, Task and Infinity. And here we see Andrex with an M762 and an Uzi with Task White in the building to the right. Team 2 just up ahead in a vehicle, possibly not noticing that Team 3 was with them. Or maybe they did and they have chosen to leave the area. So there we see Team 3 now on their own, with Team 2 moving away, with T-Pack jumping into the action. So let's jump over there and try and join them, with T-Pack Goat Team 12 going up against Team 8 with Hassam and Ari knocked, and T-Pack Goat appears to be looting, which may be why he got knocked by Otto there, leaving Agent alone to finish off the fight, with members of Team 8 pushing to get the kills, with Oyoki getting the kill for Ari. And Hassam just about to die, and there we have it, with Hassam also being killed and the Goat still knocked, with Agent over towards 335, with Nerd Levac on the left there getting a few knocks. We will jump over shortly, and there we see Otozo getting Goat and Fat Lin getting the kill on Agent there. So that is a squad wipe for team number 8. So as we leave them to loot and Oyoki to be revived, let's jump over to the Nerd team and see just how many kills they have managed to rack up, with Levac on 3 kills at the moment, with Team 4 having 4 kills in total, with Nerd on incredibly low health at the moment, and using his only first aid kit there just to recover, as I mentioned in match 1, 75% of health, and he may now want to use either an energy drink or a painkiller to recover the remaining 25% that's outstanding. And now we see Infinity going up against Task, Team 2 against Team 3. And then we see Cardio knocked Samu down, with the Task team, Task Marina, it appears, shooting Juba, who has just used a first aid kit to recover some health, with Marina driving in on the left there to join her teammates Task White and Task Andrex, getting the revive on Andrex there, with a Cardio getting a kill on Marina, meaning that Team 2 have just squad wiped Team 3, meaning that they are still in the running to maintain their winning streak from Game 1. And as always, let's leave them to celebrate their win and grieve the loss of their teammate Samu, and move over to another team. Looking at the map, we have the zone cutting off Team 11, Team 17, Team 18, Team 16, Team 13, and members of Team 4. So let's jump over to Team 19 now. which is the ins team, as they start getting shot at by team 2, with Forgotten taking some damage over towards 310, with Professor going prone in a building there, with team 2 firing more shots towards the ins team. And there we see Professor still in the blue Dacia, with Forgotten using smokes just to cover his escape, with Team 2 presumably in pursuit of Team 19, with Seng Wei just managing to pick up Sharu, with Professor in the car, also with Forgotten up ahead in his own vehicle. And hello to Alex, who has just joined the stream. Lovely to have you. And he has joined us as we watch Team 19, the ins team, just continuing to loot in the compound there. And as we look at the map, we have Team 14 and 2 on the left, Team 7 on the right, and Teams 18 and 11, and a member of Team 17 far behind, as we see Akashi just trying to drive in on the snow bike there, with a little damage being done by the blue zone, and just getting caught up in a tree there, and having to drive around to be freed. And there we see Team 2 Infinity shooting members of the Vision Squad, Team 14, with Samu still out of game 2, hopefully back for game 3, with Vision Wilo up at 5, and Floor and Tilted on the left hand side on top of the mountain there. Possibly a good spot, as it gives them the height. And they're now coming in towards Wilo there, with Juba not appearing to notice they have moved. And Juba just managing to get a knock on Vision Floor there with a G36, with more shots being fired by Tilted and Wilo, with Tilted possibly going to recover their teammate shortly, with Tilted getting a knock on a Cardio, with more shots being fired towards Juba there. With Wilo and Tilted on the right side, with Floor just being finished there by Juba, with Fito getting the revive on a Cardio there, and a grenade being thrown but not doing enough damage to knock any other player. And now it has gone quiet, with Team 2 still up against 2 members of Team 14, with Wilo and Tilted still in the game, with a Cardio being revived, Fito and Juba just across the road there. We are a little uncertain at the moment as to which team will progress further through this match, with Fito managing to knock his own teammate, with a Cardio getting up by a grenade, which may give Team 14 all they needed to push that team, with more shots being fired. And as we move in, we see Wilo getting damage there with Tilted just going prone by the wall. And as we take a look with Juba on the roof, with a cardio just taking some health here, managing to get 70, almost 75% of health recovered, with Wilo on the left hand side of the building there, with Tilted on the right, and Juba on the back to give a little cover as Fito decides to push slightly, going prone on the other side of the wall, with a cardio getting knocked, Tilted getting knocked, and that is Fito finishing Tilted, leaving Wilo the last remaining member of Team 14 as Fito gets the revive on a cardio. And there we see Team 5 over at 290 there, just starting to move in with Fito up and ready, and Wilo getting the knock on Juba there, leaving a cardio and Fito remaining. And then we see Wilo firing more shots and losing almost the entirety of his health. And one more shot or a decent grenade throw should be all it takes to get Wilo, but he has managed to get some more health. And there we see Fito being knocked and Wilo losing more health, almost managing to knock the cardio with Wilo pushing around. And that is a cardio knock. And that is Wilo finishing a cardio, now going back round towards Fito and Juba, with Fito just taking a first aid here to recover some health, with Wilo on the other side of the building. And there we see Wilo on the left side of the building, going through with a grenade being thrown, now on the top floor with smoke being thrown, and Wilo going back onto the roof with Fito on the left side, with PDX Pratish knocking Levac and Lanolka there, with Nerd getting a knock on Pratik, with Wilo shooting at Juba but having to retreat as shots are returned, with Squawks getting a knock on the light, and Nerd No getting kill on his own teammate with a molly there. And there we see Juba getting the knock on Wilo there. And that is a squad wipe for Team 2 with 2 team members remaining. They are still within reach of that second win, but let's leave them alone just for now and move over to another team, taking a look at PDX at the moment, with Pratik just using a first aid kit, with Team 8 to the right and Pratish in a vehicle. With Team 11 fast approaching. With ORG knocking Wobbly, Venom knocking Lurk, Eric knocking Venom and getting the kill there. And that is Team 18 leaving Queen and Squawk remaining up against Team 13. With Squawk being killed, leaving Queen on her own. And that is the end of Team 18, with Delight getting the kill on Queen there, meaning they now have 4 kills, a full squad wipe for Team ORG, and a smoke gets thrown as Eric revives Lid. So as they now try and recover from their brief fight there, let's leave them to it as we see the zone now change, meaning that Team 15 and 16, Team 2, 17, 19, and 11 a little now need to make their way towards the zone. And let's have a quick look at Team 15 and 16, Team T8, as they try and make their way through this compound. With grenades being thrown and F2 Clark almost getting knocked there, and now using a first aid kit to recover, with more grenades being thrown and a vehicle on fire, meaning that driving out is not going to be a possible escape route for Team 15. And we see Team 16 continuing to fight Team 15. It looks as though only one team will make their way out of this scenario. Who it will be, I do not yet know. But there we see Infinite Fito getting knocked there, meaning that Juba is the last member of Team 2 standing. It is all down to him to try and ensure that Team 2 remain in with a chance of maintaining their winning streak. So let's jump over there briefly as we see Fito revived by Juba going up against Team 5, with Molly just being heard briefly up ahead, with Newbie pushing in. And we are still here with Juba and Fito just being held back from the zone by Team 5, with Team 17 coming in vehicles, with Clown knocking Wangbo and Juba stealing the kill, with Newbie killing Fito, and Newbie just gets the kill on Juba. So unfortunately, they will not be maintaining their winning streak for game 2. But it was not without trying, and they should be very proud of their respectful performance throughout game 2. And there we see Clown being killed by T8 Unknown and Newbie being knocked, with Clown Marzi being the last remaining member of Team 5, with Team 16 close by, Team 15 and 11 in close proximity, with Team 17 firing towards Team 16, with 5 stuck in the middle. And we are 22 minutes in to game 2, with 24 players still alive. Newbie is knocked again by Goddess. And that is Newbie out cold by Team 17, with Clown being finished off by T8 Unknown from the left hand side. With Hente now in a building with the fellow Team 11 members, with the zone now closing in, doing a lot more damage than the first couple of zones did briefly. And there we see Team 11 firing upon Team 16, T8, and a shot being returned, with Rav B managing to knock Biscuit, and PDX Pratik knocking Fat Lind, and Akashi killing Biscuit, taking the kill from Team 11. And here we see Team 11 now scoping in on Team 17 over towards East, with 3 members of Team 16, T8 remaining. And Hentai gets knocked by Akashi from over towards southeast there, being revived. By Rex. and now using a first aid kit to recover 75% health. It is still all in for Team 11 and all to play for, as 25 players try and get the last kill in today's match to get the win for their respective teams, with Team 15 close by to Team 11 now, with T8 Unknown knocking Echo. And while Team 11 try and move away, going towards the remaining member of Team 15, let's jump over to Team 17 and have a look at Echo, who is knocked at the moment, with Goddess and Akashi nearby, with Rio moving in and getting the kill there on Echo, with Goddess lying prone in a shed and Akashi in the hut ahead, with Team 16 on the left, Team 11 on the right, and Team 22 shooting our own, with Alucard getting Goddess knocked, leaving Akashi the last remaining member of Team 17, with Team T8 nearby, and Sengui getting a knock himself on the left hand side, with Alucard pushing towards Akashi there, with Alucard on the outside, and Unknown being knocked by Akashi from the inside. And Akashi knocking Shadow there, and Alucard just pushing the building to get the squad wipe there. So we now have teams 8, 19, 11, 10, 22 in the running. And as shots are fired from all directions at the moment, and there we see teammate Fat Lind at the moment standing still, letting shots ring out from around him. And as the circle closes, we see the play zone getting a few knocks, with Professor finishing off there. We are 27 minutes into game 2, with 16 players left alive. We are looking at teammate Fatlind at the moment, with more shots ringing out from Team 19, with Sengui getting a knock on PDX Physics. And a grenade being thrown by Professor, with Fat Lind managing to take cover behind it. It looks as though Professor's being shot at by Team 10, not realising how close he might be to Fat Lind there, with Russia getting a knock on Pratik, and Professor using bandages, with Physics getting a knock on Hentai, Russia knocking Physics, and Pratish knocking Rav, with Russia getting Pratish, and Physics getting Hentai, Pratish, Rav D, and the PDX Russia, with Russia getting Physics also. And there we see Professor getting Fat Lin there for Team 8 being wiped. And there we see left alive Team 19, 22, and number 10, with Sengui knocking Pratish and getting the kill there, leaving 2 members of Team 10. With Professor throwing a grenade towards 1357 Joker, taking cover behind a rock and not managing to do enough damage there, with Alucard knocking Listman and Professor taking the kill, leaving 1 member of Team 22 Joker remaining, with Unknown getting caught by the blue zone, and Alucard just on the edge. With Professor just managing to take cover behind a tree there. With PDX getting a few kills there, and INS Professor just throwing a smoke to take some cover, with Joker just getting stuck behind a molly, with another couple of grenades being thrown by Professor there, who is now using a medkit, which might be a bit of a waste considering that boosts are available and not having enough time to finish it, with Joker firing a few shots. And now it is Team 19 against Team 22, and Team 19 are victorious.